Also, about anybody I want at any fucking given time that I want. If I have an opinion, I'll speak it. It does take one to know one. And that would be the second time that I've heard that. The first one, I believe I'm the one that said it, not originated it, but said it. Third of all, this would be a whole lot easier if we could all cooperate. I am under an extreme amount of stress due to actions that are not all my own. And to that end, what I require is some cooperation and some help. Now, if I'm not going to get that, and if what I'm going to get instead is continued threats, playing around, poking, lying, cheating, and manipulating, and making ourselves feel better in a very narcissistic and selfish kind of way. Because if you notice, if I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the honest truth, whether you want to hear complete transparency and honesty or not. And I'm that guy. So, in return, what I get is I end up in a particular place Thursday or Friday where I'm getting told various and sundry things. Finally, I feel like it's the end, so I feel as if I'm going to go somewhere and off myself. I get up a little bit with a tiniest bit of self-confidence, and this shit continues. The one thing that you got to realize is I'm not a guy that sleeps around. I'm not a guy that switch hits. And I'm certainly not a guy that goes to bed for money. Sex is something to me that is very important because it's an emotional connection. And I get connected with women for that is my orientation. And that is what I like doing. I love the female form. I love everything about women. They're fucking awesome. And I don't need anybody's permission to do that. And if I'm trapped in a marriage where I literally have to go out and find a woman to bed down in order to satisfy some sort of urge eventually because I just can't handle it anymore, that's not a situation I probably want to find myself in. Meanwhile, that woman is spending the money that I possess, supposedly getting from Mr. Cochran. Should have been called Johnny, I think. But the thing you got to remember is this. I don't believe she's a gold digger. I don't believe she's a bad person. I'll say the same thing about her that I did about Cheryl. Those two women can only do so much because there's been lots of people that have hurt them. And if you go back and deal with those emotions, it's almost like you're still frozen at that particular moment and at that particular time. And if you don't process those, and I mean in a good way, in a healthy way, in a regulated way, they come out in other ways. And pretty soon you'll find yourself being unable to recognize the face that you see in the mirror. And I worry about that for her. I worry about that for various other and sundry people in this conversation that are not acting like themselves. See, I can make the claim that I am acting like who I am, and that the experiences that have carried me to this point, although might have produced a good result, have been traumatic and quite negative. And with gaslighting, I mean, anybody will agree to anything to get you to shut the fuck up. And it's really a horrible thing to do to somebody. And what you have to realize is what's more important, covering your own ass or self-respect, dignity, and to be respected by your fellow men, or lurking in the shadows trying to make an honest buck, or a dishonest buck as the case may be. And with all this, I haven't even made a fucking dent. Not a dent. And all I'm going to get is the exact same shit that I got earlier. So, go crazy, guys.